Hey everybody, this video we're going to be going through our QuickBooks Desktop integration. So how we're able to sync data, namely customers, items, and invoices from the Bitumio system into QuickBooks Desktop. So this is a process by which QuickBooks will be pulling information from our system and updating all of that within the QuickBooks Desktop application. So because QuickBooks Desktop is a standalone application that lives on your personal device, we can't interface with it like we can the online version. There's an intermediary called the QuickBooks Web Connector that's going to facilitate the transfer of data from our system to QuickBooks Desktop. So that's where we're going to start today. We're going to base this video on the premise that you already have QuickBooks Desktop set up and running on your computer, and now we just have to integrate with it. So with that said, first thing we're going to do is come over to QuickBooks and install this QuickBooks Web Connector. Again, this is the app, the middleman, if you will, that allows the transfer of data from Bitumio to QuickBooks. So I'm going to click this button, install the QuickBooks Web Connector. It's very light. It's going to install very quickly. It'll come up here and I can click on this folder icon to see it. Since this is a zipped file, I need to right click on this and I need to extract all and extract. Beautiful. So I'm going to click into this. The next thing I'm going to do is this QuickBooks Web Connector installer. I'm going to right click on this and click Run as Administrator. So two things here that's very important. One, make sure you do not have QuickBooks Desktop open while you're running this step, or this Web Connector install will fail. Doesn't matter if you try to close it in between, it's going to prompt you to say close QuickBooks Desktop. To proceed, you close QuickBooks Desktop, it's still going to fail. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Make sure QuickBooks Desktop is closed while you're trying to install this. The next thing is you have to do this run as administrator. So you have to be logged into the computer as an admin user and you have to run as administrator. Otherwise it will fail and it won't tell you why it failed. It'll just say it timed out or could not complete essentially. So I'm going to click run as administrator. It's going to ask me, do you want to install this? Click yes. This is fairly quick. Next thing, do you want to install this on your computer? Next, we're going to accept the terms and conditions. You can read through this if you want, some light night reading. Next, and click install. Okay, finished. We are underway. So let's hit finish and we're good to go. So now I can open my Web Connector app. And you'll see that it's blank. If you have other applications or this is already connected, you'll have multiple lines with the applications that you're integrating with. And now I can also open my QuickBooks Enterprise account. Okay, so this is my company file that I have for Bitumio, and we have Web Connector. So we are ready to rock and roll with this. So I'm going to go into Bitumio and we're going to start to set this up. So the first thing we need to do is over on this left-hand side, we're going to scroll down to organization settings and expand this. Then we're going to come down to linked services. Now you can see that you have the option of QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop. You can set these up one or the other or both. If you're transitioning from one to the other and you want to push data into both of them, you can set up both of these so that you're pushing data to both during that transition. We're not going to cover online in this video. There's another video for that. Right now, we're going to cover desktop. So I'm going to click setup. There's one configuration field here called income account. So within QuickBooks, I'm going to go to lists and chart of accounts. And I'm going to assume that you already have your chart of accounts set up. But anytime you create an item, it asks you to which income account do you want to associate the sales for this item. So we're going to select the income account for which we want to associate the sales for the invoices and the products that we're going to be pushing into here. Right now, I've got just sales. If you just created this, or you may be using sales of job services, if you're using the contractor version, you just want to find an income account that you have associated to your items, or that you want to associate to your items. So I'm going to type in sales, and now we can download this QBC file. So I'm going to go to my web connector and click add an application. We're going to go to downloads. I'm going to find this QBC file that we just downloaded and hit open. This is asking if you want to integrate with our Bitumio system. So I'm going to hit OK. And here we go. This is the line that is saying that we're going to allow this Bitumio QuickBooks Desktop integration access to your QuickBooks account. What this is saying is it's going to run every 15 minutes and look within the Bitumio system for new data that it needs to pull in. The last setting that we have to do is this password field. So I'm going to come back to Bitumio. I'm going to look at this, copy this, and paste it into this field. If you check this little checkbox, it'll ask you, do you want to save this? I want to say yes. So every 15 minutes, you're going to reach out to look for new data. And now let's see how this works. So within QuickBooks, I'm going to close this chart of accounts. I'm going to show you my customers. Right now I've got 3 customers: Ben's Business Retreat, Big D, and Tether and Twine. So I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to go back to Ben's Business Retreat. I've got 1 invoice here. Now I'm going to go to my jobs. We can start to sync some of this data here. So the first thing, I'm going to do this Burger King. So Burger King doesn't exist as a client. This Burger King has 1 seal coat product, PMM, for a total of $9,272.33. I'm going to sync this, or rather queue this to sync, because again, every 15 minutes it's going to run. And now I'm going to come back in and I'm going to find another Ben's Business Retreat. Here is one that has 3 different products in it on this invoice. And I'm going to sync this as well. So before this runs, I'm going to go to my linked services again, and I can view this sync queue. So here I've got those 2 job IDs, 186 and 187, that are queued to be synced with QuickBooks, okay? And I can scroll down and I can see if it fails, why it failed. If I needed to, I can delete and remove this from the queue table. If I need to make a change to the job or something, I'm not ready to push it into QuickBooks, I can delete it and remove it. But right now we've got 2 jobs that are ready to be queued. So I'm going to come back into QuickBooks, open my web connector. So again, this is going to run every 15 minutes. You could set this to run every single minute if you wanted to. For now, I'm going to check this box. I'm going to hit this update selected, and this is a manual run. So now this is going to run manually to look for information coming from Bitumio. And you can see back here these things that are getting created. So here we've created Burger King. We have this invoice now, and it is done. So let's see what happened. So here we've created the Burger King customer. And in this customer, we have their phone number, their main email, their bill to information, etc. We have this invoice that has been created. So it's got 1 product like we showed for the same amount, $92.72 and 33 cents. So now this is an invoice that you're ready to send and do whatever you need with that invoice. We can also go to Ben's Business Retreat. Notice that it didn't create a new customer. It created a new invoice associated to the existing customer. So here we've got an invoice that has 1, 2, 3 items, just like the job within Bitumio, with their specific prices associated to each of those items. So now we've created in 1 transaction or 1 sync, we've created a customer, the various items that are needed, and 2 invoices, 1 for Ben's Business Retreat and 1 for the Burger King customer that we didn't previously have. And that's it. That's how you're going to sync information between Bitumio and your QuickBooks Desktop account. There are a couple steps to get this set up, just to create that intermediary using the web connector. But hopefully this is helpful to walk you through what those steps are and a quick way to get you rolling to push information from Bitumio into QuickBooks. Thanks for watching.